If dudes come and you move it in a certain way, if you choose not to check in, suffer the consequences. You feel like you got something that's bigger than what is there.
Yeah, because, I mean, everybody be checking in. That's your favorite thing to do, check in with somebody that's gonna rob your stupid ass. Yo, you think that guy, the guy that you don't know in California got your back?
Yeah. When I go to Chicago, I respect Chicago wholeheartedly. I check in. When I go to Atlanta, I check in. When I go places, I check in. And I don't think nobody...
Man, looks like ScHoolboy Q just put Big U on full blast, and what he's exposing. It's wilder than those RICO charges. And if you thought the legal heat was the worst of it, this rabbit hole goes way deeper. The whispers are everywhere, and it seems like Big U might have underestimated just how deep this whole situation goes. According to reports, he is planning on representing himself in his RICO case. Why go solo? Big U wants access to every single document, not just the stuff his lawyer chooses. He's not trying to miss a single line that could flip this case. Now, don't get me wrong, this decision's raised some eyebrows. You gotta ask yourself, why would someone facing 43 charges and a serious RICO case decide to go pro-per like this? Well, according to reports, Big U's reasoning is straight up strategic. The man is trying to get his hands on every single document, every shred of evidence, and every piece of information related to his case, whether it's directly tied to his charges or not. Why? Because he knows that his lawyer is only going to share what's absolutely necessary. But what if the real juicy stuff, the stuff that could flip the case or expose weaknesses in the prosecution's game, is buried somewhere in the details? Big U wants to go through it all himself, not leaving a single stone unturned.
Now I'm gonna be sitting in here, it's gonna be years on my life. Then you going to get dudes who I don't even talk to. What they gonna say? You ruining people's lives.
It's like Big U's not sweating this case. He's acting like he's still calling shots in the streets. Word is he's moving and acting like he's still in control of the streets. According to insiders, he has been allegedly keeping track of who's talking. And word is, he's trying to identify who's been cooperating with the authorities. And you already know, in the game, that's a big deal. He wants to know who's been providing testimonies or giving up any information, no matter how small. We're talking about those little things that might seem insignificant on the surface, but in reality, they could have a huge impact. Imagine someone getting stopped by the cops with a gun on them. They might not end up facing charges, but if they drop any info about Big U in the process, that's a whole other thing. So Big U wants to know all that. He's checking for every possible betrayal in his hood because, in his eyes, anyone who cooperates with the law is turning on the crew. And that could change the whole dynamic. And now the hood's starting to catch wind of all this. Word is, people are starting to go quiet. It's like everyone is on the edge, trying to figure out who's solid and who's not. The whispers are loud, and ScHoolboy Q has allegedly stepped up, calling out Big U for allegedly trying to silence those informants. You know, threatening them, keeping them in line, making sure they stay quiet. The way things are shaping up, it seems like Big U's move to represent himself is part of a bigger plan. Maybe he's thinking long-term, you know? Once he has the chance to go through all the evidence, get all the documents in his hands, he might bring in a lawyer again, but not until he's fully absorbed everything. The man's playing chess, not checkers. If he finds out that his closest homies have been snitching to the feds, you already know it could change his whole approach. Big U's a smart man. If anyone can flip this case using dirt from the inside, it's him. If he uncovers enough info that points to betrayal within his own circle, it could justify his next move, whatever that may be. He might even consider cooperating with the authorities if it means he can reduce his sentence or secure a deal. It's a cold world out here, and Whack 100's even been loud about it, talking about how things are shifting.
I know Big U how I know him, he know him another way. Big U's in a situation where he wants to know everybody that has cooperated or told on him. No.
Big U's world? Bruh. It's looking like it's all crumbling right before our eyes.
So everything they would give to his attorney, his attorney may not pay attention to a certain name, right? Or because it may not really be relevant to the charges they fighting, right? He might have got pulled over on the traffic stop and gave me the name. The police didn't do nothing with it, but still it's telling, right?
The empire of control he built, running the streets of LA like it was his personal kingdom, might be shaking to its core.
Well, now you're in a situation where Big U is going to get all the documents, be able to see everybody that's cooperating against him.
But why couldn't he do that through his attorney?
You're not, because the attorney ain't going to give you everything.
Why not?
He's going to give you what y'all dealing with.
But they work for you.
Not long ago, Big U was the face of LA, the one everyone was checking in with if they were coming to the hoods of the city. Big U ran LA like his own kingdom. Everybody checked in, no questions. For years, he enforced that rule hard. But now, with all the drama that's going down, that check-in culture is looking a lot less like safety and more like a hustle. People are starting to ask if Big U was exploiting those who were just trying to make it through LA without getting caught up in the madness. You remember when he was out here talking about Quando Rondo not checking in? Big U made it seem like Rondo's refusal to check in was a major mistake.
The youngsters get out and then they have to have an experience before they realize I should have checked in. You know what I mean? Or I should have called, or I should have been moving a certain way.
But he didn't stop there. He went as far as saying PNB Rock got killed for not checking in.
And so they get out and they might be under your banner, but then they not respecting the banner. They ain't calling you. They got your number, they know who you is, but they feel like they bigger than the program.
Now, I know that sounded wild at first, but the streets were buzzing about it. The whispers became really heavy after PNB Rock's tragic death. Fans and the streets were in shock, but there were also speculations that there is a bigger game at play. Word is, PNB Rock's murder wasn't random. People say it looked more like a message than a robbery, a warning for refusing to check in with Big U. But let's be real, the way it all went down. Suspicious doesn't even cover it. PNB Rock got hit in broad daylight and folks started connecting dots. Was this a robbery or a message? Then came the whispers that Big U knew more than he let on. One user wrote, "Check in, aka, let me know you here so I can set you up to rob." Another put it bluntly saying, "Look at him making it clear that people have to check in. He's probably behind every single robbery that happens in LA." It gets even worse when you look at Big U's reaction after the murder. The man was out here talking about it in interviews, but his response was cold, emotionless. He didn't seem fazed by it. For someone who claimed to be a protector, Big U's reaction was ice cold.
What are your thoughts on what happened to PNB?
I mean, it could happen to everybody. Just to be honest with you, I spoke on that. It's about greed. You know what I mean? Greed, envy, same thing I did. I mean, I did that.
No emotion, no sympathy, just vibes. And that silence, it spoke volumes. His lack of visible sorrow when discussing the murder was enough to raise some major red flags. Was he that detached, or was he involved in something deeper than anyone thought? Many started questioning whether he had known more than he was letting on. Then came the arrest, the indictment, RICO charges. Big U's world was unraveling faster than he could keep up with. And just as this was all going down, ScHoolboy Q took his shots, calling out the entire check-in culture that Big U had helped build. Q wasn't having any of it. He called out the exploitation behind it, and he did it at the perfect time, right when Big U was facing his own legal mess. Q made it clear that this checking in thing wasn't about safety. It was about making money off people who just wanted to be left alone to do their thing.
Yeah, because, I mean, everybody be checking in. That's y'all favorite thing to do, check in with somebody that's gonna rob your stupid ass. Yo, you think that guy, the guy that you don't know in California got your back?
He wasn't the only one to feel this way either. As Big U's legal issues became more public, many started agreeing with Q. And now, people are seeing the check-in system for what it might have really been, a hustle dressed up as protection. Q's stance made people reevaluate everything they'd heard about the check-in culture. Was it really for safety, or was it a way to profit off of the fear and uncertainty that came with navigating LA's dangerous streets? The timing of Q's comments, paired with Big U's legal mess, couldn't have been more perfect. It was like Q was calling out a whole system that had been built on intimidation, control, and exploitation. And you've got to wonder, if Q can see through it, how many other people can? Now, Big U's dealing with legal battles, accusations of manipulation, and the fallout from all this online speculation. But ScHoolboy Q's comments? They hit differently. They're forcing everyone to look at the culture Big U helped create and question whether it was all just a way for him to stay on top, even if it meant pulling some shady strings along the way. The check-in culture that once felt like a safety measure is now being seen for what it might really have been, a hustle. And as Big U tries to figure out his next move, it's clear that everyone is watching, and they're not just watching Big U. They're watching the whole system he helped build. With Big U's trial heating up, it looks like he's playing his cards differently. He's out here representing himself, trying to take full control of his case. No lawyers telling him what's what. He's digging through every document, every piece of evidence, looking for something that could work in his favor. The move is clear. Big U wants to uncover every little detail, even the stuff that might not be directly tied to the charges. Why? So he can use that information to work a deal, maybe even negotiate a lesser sentence or plea. It's all about having the power in his hands, ensuring nothing slips through the cracks. But the streets, man, they're buzzing about this whole self-representation thing, and the internet's on fire about it too. One person said, Big U is going to tell everybody, and the rest, same energy. So yeah, things are looking dicey for Big U, but he's not backing down. The streets are watching every move he makes. And if you thought you knew how this was going to unfold, you might want to think again. Would Big U's strategy pay off? Or is he digging himself a deeper hole? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss the next wild update.